guys, Mika Fabs here. I'm standing by with Coach Meseka of BBL along with Rebecca to help out with some translating. So I wanted to ask you guys, of course, how do you prepare for map number 2, Bind, which is a map that KRU is also very incredibly dominant on?
KRU'nun çok dominant olduğu Bind haritasına, ikinci haritaya nasıl hazırlanıyorsunuz?
Bizim için kimin hangi map'te ne kadar dominant olduğunun çok bir önemi yok. Nasıl oynadıklarını biliyoruz ama biz bütün map'lerde dominantız. Ona göre hazırlandık. Kendi oyunumuzu oynayacağız. Bizim için ne yaptıklarının çok bir önemi yok. Muhtemelen rahat bir maç olacak bizim için.
For us, it doesn't matter who is dominant on which map because we are dominant on all maps and we play our own game style. We don't prepare according to our rivals. We just do what we do best, and we think it's going to be an easy match.
Spicy words indeed. Let's see if BBL can close this out.
Oh, you love to hear. I don't know about all maps, but certainly the map, Sapphire, we have never seen them play before. You can see why they chose this. This was beautiful.
Oh, they were cooking something over the last couple weeks, and it tastes good, right? It tastes good if you're a BBL fan. That was a wild performance. We obviously just heard from the coach, like, they're just playing their game. They are so insanely confident, and you could tell that in the server.
Yeah, it definitely took them a little bit to get warmed up, but once they got warmed up and made some adaptations, it just started getting out of hand. And like, honestly, I feel like KRU didn't even have like that bad of a map. Like I thought they looked really good.
Yeah.
I just think it was a skill diff. Like, I actually do think it was a skill diff.
I mean, the clutches, what I love about BBL is that they play like this online, you know, back in EMEA. This is how they play. They get a lot of clutches. And today it fell to Eva. She was taking most of those. And it felt like Sapphire, she just couldn't miss.
That flick was crazy.
That shot right there is insane. And that's what you want to see. And so, like, you want to take what you've been practicing for months at home, months in the gaming house, and translate immediately to on LAN, on the global stage. And so this team coming in as big favorites for the event. There's a lot of hype around them. And like you said, they're playing like they've done in Series 3 and looking good.
This is what makes a championship team, is when your star player, like, I mean, who really is the star player on this team, right? But this is what I'm saying. Like, the fact that anybody can step up at any moment and drop bombs like that is just like that. That's what makes a championship team.
Yeah, there were a few rounds I honestly thought that they might not even deserved to win. They just like pulled out of nowhere, right?
Definitely, yeah. The clutch rounds were crazy. The 2v4, the 1v2s and stuff like that. Yeah, it was obnoxious. But I mean, that's part of the game, and that's what makes teams great.
Yeah, but on the other side, they also had a clutch on the side of KRU. Let's check her out. Is Konya in the Verizon high speed moment, because Sapphire, especially in the first half, she was all over them. She was a real nuisance to BBL.
She really was. I mean, so many important like entry frags from her, a lot of great clutches. Obviously this one here, like this TP into winning the 1v2 was a big pivotal moment, and then just a lot of like nice repositions on that Omen TP. And then I think she had so many multi-frag rounds. This was so beautiful, so smart that she played. We went wild for that, but that obviously got the team hyped up for that. Kanir, the OG player, is playing very, very well today.
Yeah, and honestly, this could have been a very, very different series had Eva not been in this game, because there were so many 1v1s that she beat Konir on that like would have changed the entire structure of how this game went down.
Yeah,
honestly.
She was the only person that went positive against Konya. Konya was kind of farming everyone else, but Eva stopped her. I think definitely contributed to their map win. But also, let's revisit the head-to-head of Konya and Vani. We set this up before the game started. You know, those were two of the players to watch, and I just cannot believe that we're seeing these kind of stats on their Omen Smokes players. Sapphire.
Wow, Omen, the new duelist. I love it. There's so many great entries. Like their ACS is just like off the charts. Incredible performances for these two, and what I love too is just using like that entire kit, that entire Omen kit, like so versatile with their play.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you saw it in the stats. Imagine what would have transfolded if Eva had not shut her down, because this is Konir was actually just going crazy. She was going nuclear, and the entries and the clutches too. It was insane.
It almost feels weird that she was on the losing side, right? Because she was just doing everything.
She was the best in the server, honestly.
Yeah.
Stats-wise, at least.
I mean, does this change your expectations at all now? We have seen both of the teams play on LAN. I know it's just map 1. This series could go the distance as well.
Yeah, I definitely think it could. I think Bind is going to be a really good map for KRU. And I don't know how comfortable or how strong BBL is. I know that they're obviously super confident no matter what. But I think if KRU can maintain composure and understand, look back like, hey, honestly, we didn't even play that bad on that map. Yeah. It was pretty close. We just lost some clutches. Let's clean it up and focus on that teamwork that they were talking about going into this. I could see them taking this next map. Now, Ascent, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. A lot of LATAM teams do like playing Ascent. But, I mean, BBL is, like, they have so many reps on this map.
Yeah, Turkish teams on Ascent, it just hits different. But yeah, Heather, how are you feeling ahead of map 2? This is where, in theory, it should flip, right? KRU should be favored?
I think so. I'm feeling good about it for KRU. They've been undefeated on it during regular season play. Like, they clearly are really comfortable on it. Kinnear has, I vividly remember a number of great clips on it, too, from her. But, it's one where I'd say they're slightly flavored, but again, like BBL, they don't necessarily play it, but when it does come up, they still win too. So.
That's the BBL way. That's the BBL way. But how are we feeling in terms of the compositions? Because obviously you've mentioned already KRU. They've had a few different faces on Bind, and I do like that Bind feels like one of those maps that you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have your staple double controller, but it's really that like sentinel slot that a lot of people are changing up. You know, a lot of people are playing Yoru now. I don't know, BBL is running a breach for that slot, and I haven't seen that yet, or like a Gecko, you know, stuff like that. So I'm really interested to see the comps. I think KRU, it's going to be hard to tell what they want to run because they've literally ran 3 different comps in 3 different weeks.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, BBL also ran the Gecko on Bind in the past.
That would be a sick mirror.
Yeah, they have done that.
Yeah. Obviously, we'll get both jets out, and then I think a lot of the differences here will be what they choose in terms of the initiator. I believe KRU has had a fade on here at some point, so that's probably where we'll see some differences, whether it's that fade or breach or sky or double initiator on both teams.
You guys have a preference? You know, you think there's one that they should be running, especially for KRU, because I'm not also 100% sure what we're gonna get.
Honestly, I think now that Cypher is buffed, I'm a big Cypher fan. So, you know, like the Fnatic comp, you know, Alphager type style on that map with the double controller, Sky, and Raze. I think that's a really solid comp. I don't know if we'll see that in this series, but I'd be okay with anything, honestly. Like, the double initiator is oppressive. The Gecko is honestly such a niche pick, but I've seen teams like Oxygen make it work and make it look really good. And the Gecko can be really annoying because honestly, a lot of the times you're playing Bind, it's hard to get the bomb down, and the fact that you don't have to expose your body to getting the bomb down, I think is a big advantage.
Yeah, and what we saw in the last map is like the breach kind of struggled a bit from KRU. Like, we didn't necessarily see a lot of that utility that we needed. So I do kind of like the Sky here pairing with the Raze. I think that's just a little better fit for the initiator.
Honestly, I feel like at this point, every Sky map we've seen has just been crazy. It's been like some of the best Valorant we've seen so far, right?
Yeah, I don't know what it is with these Skies this tournament. It's just every Sky is dropping bombs on the winning side, because the KRU Sky didn't play that great compared to Eva, but how could you? She was clutching everything.
We are experiencing a slight delay here, but don't worry, we have some great content for you, because earlier Kakuka sat down with KRU's Kinnear and Kalita for a quick game to see if they're on the same page. So it's time for Agree or Disagree.
Hello everyone, I am joined by Kinnear and Kalita. ¿Qué tal, chicas? ¿Cómo estáis?
Hola, ¿todo bien? ¿Y tú?
Muy bien, gracias. We're going to be playing a small game that you might remember. We've done it in the past. It's called Agree to Disagree. I'm going to just give them some statements that we're going to see in which degree they agree or disagree with those. We're going to be doing it in Spanish, so maybe you'll learn something. Ok, chicas, ¿sabéis cómo se juega este juego? ¿Estáis preparadas? Ok. Lo primero, durante este año solo habéis jugado 13 oficiales de Game Changers, lo cual os convierte en un equipo que está un poco preparado para este evento. ¿Dónde estáis? A ver esas paletas. Vale, estáis muy en desacuerdo. ¿Por qué, Kalita?
Yo creo porque la preparación es lo mismo que cualquier otro equipo, entonces para mí estamos a la misma altura que cualquier otro. No importa que sean menos partidos, sí estaría bueno que hayan más, obviamente, porque toda experiencia suma, pero la preparación es la misma, entonces desacuerdo completamente.
Vale, y tú, Kinnear, quiero que me expliques. ¿Tú crees que a lo mejor dais esa imagen de que sois un poco más débiles al resto de los equipos y cómo os afecta a vosotras y a ellas?
Sí, oficialmente hemos jugado muy poco, pero claro, detrás de pantalla hemos jugado un montón. Todos los días hemos estado jugando, ni siquiera mientras haya torneo. Todos los días practicando, entonces ellos no saben lo que se están perdiendo.
Me encanta, me encanta, me encanta. Vale, además, en esos 13 partidos no habéis jugado ni un solo Breeze ni un solo Sunset. ¿Pensáis que los equipos que llegan habiendo jugado esos mapas tienen una ventaja muy grande? Yo creo que no. Oye, estáis muy en acuerdo las dos, o sea, me gusta. ¿Por qué pensáis? O sea, por ejemplo, tú, Calita, estabas diciendo, muy importante esa experiencia en oficiales. Estos dos mapas ni los habéis testeado en ese ámbito.
No, pero la preparación está. Entonces, que no se haya mostrado no
sorpresa,
significa,
¿no?
claro, no significa que no se haya trabajado. Entonces, yo creo que de cierta forma nos favorece a nosotras porque ya sabemos algunas composiciones de los otros equipos. Mientras tanto, nosotras todavía no hay información.
Me encanta, es el completo as en la manga. Me gusta, chicas. Vale, un statement que además yo creo que se oye mucho. NA y EMEA son regiones un poco sobrevaloradas. ¿Dónde estáis?
Sobrevaloradas.
Volvéis a estar de acuerdo. ¿Por qué, Conir, tú crees que están un poco sobrevaloradas?
Bueno, es lo mismo de siempre. Ellos no saben a lo que se enfrentan. Este año hemos trabajado súper duro y venimos con todo a demostrar en que la región que es LATAM tiene todo para salir adelante.
Y la última, ¿vale? ¿Creéis que el home crowd path, esta gente, ¿no? Ahora mismo que estamos en Brasil, ¿creéis que se puede tener ese efecto en las jugadoras? ¿Creéis que tener, por ejemplo, el equipo de Team Liquid Brasil va a tener ese bufo porque la gente de su país les esté viendo y estén representándoles?
No.
¿No?
No, yo no.
Para mí, sí.
Vale, por lo menos encontramos una en la que no estáis de acuerdo. creo que me gusta. ¿Por qué no?
O sea, obviamente capaz para ellas significa algo, pero para nosotras no significa nada. Entonces, nosotras vamos a intentar demostrar lo que tenemos y lo que trabajamos y no nos vamos a dejar llevar por eso. Entonces,
para mí Liquid si tiene un bufo, estamos en su zona, básicamente.
Sí.
Pero nosotros también venimos a bufear. Somos de LATAM, básicamente.
Me encanta.
Bueno, somos de esta misma tierra, así que...
Muchísimas gracias, chicas, de verdad, muchísima suerte en el torneo. Sé que lo vais a hacer genial, ya es un logro siquiera llegar hasta aquí. Thank you everybody for watching. This has been Agree to Disagree.
I love that segment. I also love the questions Bea proposed some spicy answers there. They're thinking that NA and EMEA are overrated regions.
I wonder what they'd say now after that first map. It's interesting. Obviously, you wanna be confident and feel like, you know, that they're underestimating you as a region, but it is hard to deny that NA and EMEA also have just very freaking good teams.
I think the only thing that I agreed on was that they do have the tools in order to win. I think we actually saw a lot of great stuff from them. And had they not gotten clutched so many times, maybe it would have been a closer game. Don't know if they would have won still, but I think it could have been a closer series. And then all you're waiting for is just for everybody to turn online, and that can happen at any stage of the tournament, hopefully sooner rather than later. But, you know, they definitely do have the tools. I like the way they were working the map. I like their strategy. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I think the key there for Kanir and Kalita is to reinforce that, like, LATAM still has some, like, really, really strong players. We saw some great individual moments from those teams.
Honestly, give them 2 slots. That's how I feel.
Agreed.
I feel like they should have had 2 slots coming into this tournament, and we are heading into the Prime Gaming Agent Select very soon here for Bind. Of course, this is the choice of KRU. They are 1-0 down, but if it's anywhere they're gonna get back into this game and push it to a map 3, it's gonna be on Bind. Just a reminder, not only have they not lost this year, they've never lost this map ever, and it looks like they've gone with the Fade composition this time around.
Yeah, so we basically have a mirror across the board, but KRU has a Fade and the Queens have a Breach, and I haven't seen this Breach be played on this map in quite a bit of time. I'm interested to see what they got cooked up on it. I'm more leaning in terms of what I would like to play. I really like KRU's comp. The double initiator, you have a lot of info. The scan Sky Flash when you're hitting sites on this map, especially with the lineups, if they have high lineups, I'm assuming they do, it's gonna be really, really strong and impressive to play against.
I think on the other side too, it's been a while since we've seen a Fade on Bind too, but that's something that the team has been running for all of Game Changers qualifiers to get here, and again, they're undefeated on this map with this comp.
This is the thing, though. They have to make it work, because if they don't, they'll be dropping into the lower bracket. Let's send this over to your casters, Vansili and Potter. Take it away.
I am on that copium there for BB and for Sapphire that I still think that this is going to go to a third map because we're playing Cruise map, undefeated on this one, and an opportunity for someone to just drop smokes and start dueling all over the place.
Exactly. Not only that, but both squads are going to have kind of like this faux duelist style Brimstone, right? Brimmy with the stimmy, Vans. We're about to see some insane executes, and if map 1 told us anything, it's that both these squads are decisive. So with that stimmy, certainly going to change the pace. And again, you mentioned it, that breach coming into play here as well, Vans.
Breach, something that BBL likes to use as, it's actually KRU looking to hold the W to start things up. Duelist premium for Kadir, the headshot that on the first, but BBL answers back right away. 3 to fall, and an advantage for the attackers to come in for the plant towards the A site.
Yeah, and it's going to be a free site, able to plant and go wherever they want. That sound cue of the TP, giving a lot of information as well. Maybe this flash is going to open something up for Romy, but she's stuck behind a smoke right now.
Yeah, the thing is the spike is planted towards the mid box and APC, so looks like for the attackers for BBL, they really just want to play the crossfire, focusing on the drop from heaven. But a nice shot comes out from Kalita after the showers, and Neva's the one to fall. Disadvantage though still for BBL, or for KRU rather, as Vanya's there at the off angle, at the barrel. And you know what? We talked about a control on the first round.
Yes.
Being Konir getting 4, but this time it's Vanya.
Yeah, and I mean it's the perfect opening, right? I mean, Vans, it was Konir that opened up the round with a beautiful one tap, and it's Vanir that's gonna close out the round with 3 more kills on the other side. I mean, both controllers are absolutely crazy, but that shot from Kalita, I mean, if Romy's able to wipe out Vanya here, it's wraps.
Yep.
That is a round 100% coming through for the other side, but just the smallest of margins right now across both maps, fans.
And this is tough though for KRU, as they wanted to set the tone early in that pistol round. The aggression that they pulled out got denied right away, and also on top of that, the star player over at BBL gets 4 into the round and closer to a Brimmy ult. So now KRU, they want to try to push forward once again. Sheriff long range, you saw there the Fade got some information on the players falling back from BBL, so they had to be ready on this A site.
Yeah, now Romy's about to have a whole lot of action come her way. You can see most of the squad is on the way with the rotates coming, but just a Sheriff in hand, that's the way to start.
That's good enough. And now the push out through the smoke. Shies comes in for the assist, so no aggressive position coming out from BBL until this player right here flashes out and allows both of them to get the 3 picks instantly to trade right back.
And the map is somewhat getting flipped, but Konir in the heaven just doesn't see Philippa in the corner. And just like that, what coulda, shoulda been, BBL are able to just stabilize the round, but man, things got dicey there.
Really starting to see BBL players within their element. So as Yinsu was pointing out on the desk, it's the way they played in the EMEA online, and they're definitely showing you here a comfort zone for Eva. Beautiful flash to allow these kills to happen in a double swing to get these 2 picks. Was everything there for BBL to stop that bleeding and prevent the Thrifty from happening.
Exactly, and that's such a good point, right? Because right prior to that, we saw Alkia going into U-Haul all on her lonesome, all by herself on an eco round. So definitely gonna have to go back to the fundamentals and make sure everyone is doing their job. But on this bonus right now, BBL, you can see they wanted to do some sort of fast opening towards this hookah, but no bodies here, no defenders in sight. This is going to be so much control for BBL. Once you have top Octagon and hookah, this should be a simple execute.
And that's why they're not looking to fall back here for BBL. They're still holding their positions. Mikaela is the one playing and trying to spot the angle. Just saw one and forces the wall up. Pain shells to just try to prevent players from dropping down right away. Romy's looking for a time to run through the smoke, and unfortunately the timing's not right. BBL's taking over the B site.
Yeah, just like that, both members wiped out. Kalita still has a flash, maybe an opportunity. They are blind, but the backup is there for BBL, and now both members remaining, Konir and Shies, maybe some damage, but you really just got to think about saving at this point.
I agree with that. Right now they're just holding behind the thickness of the smokes towards the spawn. An opportunity maybe to duel to recross, but they're going to probably cross onto one spotting them. There's that content, and at least Konir is able to win that against Philippa, and trying to see if they still want to try to hunt her down. So she's trying to bait it out so her teammate could get the backstabs in the end, but unfortunately she falls. And look at BBL. They're actually
Love that.
pulling it all the way towards the teleporter, and that's discipline.
Such a dissection of this site as well, and you even saw it in that last moment, Vans. Both players biding their time, the communications coming through, they did that countdown and double swung onto the spawn player. So, I mean, little things like that go a long way. But again, the decisiveness, Akia just flying into the back of sight. And when you're prepped as you are, if you're BBL here, you really understand when your openings are, when that breach fault line is going to come through, and exactly what angles you have to clear. So a drilled execute coming through here for BBL, and clean as hell.
That's really nice to see from BBL, a team that hasn't really played this map during their own qualifier at EMEA Season 3, but we'll hold that thought.
Good night.
Crew's just trying to push forward with just sheriff plays and trade-offs, and maybe trying to take advantage of the phantom that they have behind for the assist. So there's only one player holding the anchor within that smoke. They know she's close. Shy's at 61. Here's that tap on the spike. And as she runs out, the 3 players are greeting her right there. And that's really not going to allow Crew to set the pace or try to bring it back in their favor. We'll definitely see a 4-0 here.
Should be, for sure. Yep, and Romy, no chance to even shoot a bullet there in that one. Coming on to the 5th round here, Vans, and this is, I mean, this is going to be a strong gun round. Maybe an operator needs to be discussed. Starting 2 on the defense side, do we bust it out? The biggest problem when you're running comps like this, and really Bind in general, is who's going to hold the op, right? Is it going to be our Rays? Because if it's our Rays, they're not going to be as free and mobile, which is exactly what you want your Rays to be. So decisions having to be made. No operators, because no money yet on the board, but a good timing on this timeout if you're Crew.
Yeah, and that's why some of the competition that we see towards the VCTs, when they want to try to have a player use an op, you definitely see a Chamber in that composition. And this time around, though, these 2 teams are not opting for that type of play style, but they're opting to play a Fade, at least on Crew's side, where they're calling this timeout. And I feel like I've seen this before, this composition with the Fade.
Yeah, you definitely have, Vans. You definitely have. This is a comp that I'm definitely familiar with. It was a comp that my team ran all of last year, and you know that, again, we got to highlight what the strengths are. It's the Fade and Raze together in tandem. Not just that, but the Brim ult, as soon as it comes out, that tether coming through for Fade, it's a very underrated piece of utility, but that stopping power that you're able to provide, and just those plays in the mid-round when you've got your Raze running beside you and you say 3, 2, 1 and throw those 2 utility pieces together, it can really change the tide of how the round's going. So I'm expecting to see Crew start to really warm up into this half and start utilizing each other so that they can combo those utility pieces together and get around on the board.
That's the silver lining when you're looking at how the defensive has been played for Crew. They have stuck those 2 players together for most of these retake attempts that they're trying to do. This time around, you see all 3 players that you've mentioned with the Brimstone in combination, all playing towards this A site, but no orbital strike this time around. We still need 2 orbs for Cornier to get that upgrade, but at least it's that smoke to really slow down any type of pressure from showers to start.
Yeah, and she's even going to get a Haunt to help her side as well, maybe trying to really collect the orb, but a bit more of a passive look. And you can tell here, Connier doesn't really want to contest this shower. If she did, the Sky would be a lot closer towards Octagon to pressure the TP at the same time, but she's playing for info at this point.
It's very interesting that Kalita even threw the Seekers immediately at the beginning of the round.
Bit of a maybe miscomm, but the pressure applied by BBL was certainly felt if you're Crew. But a waste of an ult, essentially, in hindsight. Romy's got a lot of info, though. A lot of info, and I wonder if Romy is actually hearing the Viper jump spawning, because that's going to be a huge sound cue. A lot of information.
That's right, Crew staying with this formation towards the A site.
Romy's going to get the... Oh, God.
Oh, it's fake checked. She has an opportunity right here, so she'll call for the rotate. No! The re-swing out from Vanya, and somehow Romy was ready for it. Now being pressured, throwing down a snake bite. Now the TP comes across for a pinch, but it's too aggressive for Crew. They fall down one by one right outside the teleporter, and even Shies could avenge her teammates. And unfortunately, with all that timing, all that information that Romy got, they couldn't capitalize on it.
Couldn't capitalize. It's just down to Connier and Kalita. Kalita's in a very interesting position. If Connier's able to find one, the time is low. With the flank in way, maybe there's a chance here.
Saw the barrel of a gun and one planting for sure. An opportunity to backstab. There's that first frag onto
shot.
Alkia, and knows that at least one player has fallen back towards the U-Haul, but it's doubled up. We're about to see a duel on the rotation, but one's watching that flank at the same time, and that's the commitment to try to stop Wens to play that pulse plant with the snake bites, and Wens was ready for it all along and all ready for the lineup. You pretty much could say that this is a done deal. It's about to land onto the spike, so Kinnear has an opportunity, though, to clear out towards U-Haul, but we mentioned it was 2 players in there. Kinnear comes across, gets picked off. And it's time now for BBL to really take a strong lead on Bind.
Yeah, what a dominant answer. What a dominant round, especially if you consider how that round was looking. I mean, Romy had everything going for her that round, even with the flank of Kalita. Every moving piece that they needed was on the way, but it was right there, that TP. I love the ride or die. I love that you're committed to your teammates getting contact and you're gonna trade them no matter what, but it was a little too early. There was just no attackers in that area of the map, so the timing isn't on KRU's side, but BBL, they're constantly having answers.
Yeah, Romy definitely wasn't in a position to be able to trade off with her teammates. Pinned all the way back towards the attacker spine. Hopefully, with room to breathe as the barriers come down, ultimates to work with on BBL's side, and KRU are looking for a gamble stack towards this B side, and hopefully that's going to pay off.
Oh man, I love this play coming out from Alkia right now. She's gonna have so much. Oh, the jig is up.
Flash finds information. Alkia's just pushing her away with the satchel. Orbital strike coming out too, clearing out towards the showers. So the commitment is for BBL towards this A site. We're still having that battle 1-for-1, and finally the backstab comes in. Kalita gets once for trouble, so we'll take it. The last bullet remaining gets the pick off onto Vanya.
I've got your
No matter what, really set up towards this A site for BBL. Forcing out Seekers too is actually quite nice for KRU. But it'll still guarantee a plant for BBL towards the A site.
Yeah, exactly. That Seeker's buying them that time. It doesn't look like KRU want to give them any much more of it. They are on the way, but with just Sheriffs and with all the utility coming through for BBL, it's not going to make it hopeful whatsoever. But this is dominant so far for BBL and a hot start. And it's exactly what you want, especially with all the question marks coming through from the desk, from us as well. Bind, questionable pick, but so far, there's a rhyme or reason coming through for sure.
Yeah, BBL is definitely looking comfortable, and probably they have studied the tape of what KRU brings to the table right now in their matchup. Another timeout being called once again. And they really want to focus on what they could do here on the defense, because that combination that you talked about with the tether and the nades, I've seen this being done for KRU's side when they're hitting the attacks, really taking control of towels towards the APC, towards the A side. They could actually add a lot of pressure. So for me, it tells me that KRU are still very comfortable of running it back on the attack. Just salvage as many as you can here on the defense.
Yes, yes, and as they should be. Right now, all of their ultimates, most of them, should slowly start to come online for the next 2 rounds. You've got a lot of protocols, you've got a lot of sequences and little set pieces that you've been practicing all year long. This is absolutely where it comes into play. All those drillings, all those reps, this is where you have to execute.
When we're looking at how these rounds have been played out for BBL, it's really KRU trying to be a little bit aggressive towards short, pushing out towards B, not too much pressure towards the showers coming out from BBL. So now it feels like the map's even kind of flipped around. They have that extra opportunity to add more again, to add that fear and that paranoia of an extra step that KRU has to take advantage of or has to think of.
Yeah, exactly, and we'll see if KRU put some pressure towards the shower TP. We've seen the hookah TP in the mid round. It didn't work out, but now you can see that Sky on the side of Kalita is towards that octagon. So maybe providing a little bit of utility through that TP, but doesn't look like KRU want to make their stand there. Michaela feels really comfortable on top of this truck right now.
And just eyeing down towards the showers. That's her goal so far. Really leaving the short open because of the one-way Viper orb that's also available. Meanwhile, we're just trying to play the information game. Everything's been utilized towards this B side from the Sky utility, so we're staying put right now for KRU on the A site.
Yeah, and Shy's both used both of her prowlers already. It didn't catch anything in shower. This timing might be crucial.
Timing is even better for Vanya. She gets the pick off. Showstopper was hurt, moving towards the attack. Hit out on the defense to try to slow things down. Counter with the orbital strike. That's going to push players away. You saw an opportunity, an attempt to try to get that seize. Or at least it was a hunt that came out, sorry, not a seize with the orbital strike, and that TP forces now BBL back into a ring around the rosy.
Man, this is a good answer. Look at the mini-map, Vans. It's only Romy here all alone in the site. Connier fully bit into that B hit, even used the molly down under Hookah. So it's just Romy. She's got to get a multi-kill. Oh, they're doubling back.
No, only one TP, so still committed within the A site. Fighting inside the pit, it falls down as Romy gets picked off, but Khalita's still there. Trying to get a flash, trying to get information. There's 13 seconds left on the clock. BBL has to commit now towards this A site. Now it's being stuck by Philippa. Khalita still trying to find that timing. Swings out, but couldn't get the kill before he gets planted, but at least gets a second into the round. Eva, the all-star in the clutches, moving out to a corner. There's that first, wants a second, but Shies is there. Finally to save it. No clutches coming out this time for Eva.
Not this time around. Shies has an answer, and you can see how much it means to her, and it should. Finally stopping the bleeding. They had to use a lot of ults, but the mobility coming out from BBL this round even confused me. So I'm glad to see that KRU had an answer. They looked calm and cool, all things considered, with every TP noise coming out 2 times in that round, but good stabilization, and man, that was so close to even close out the round there on the spike planner.
That was everything too.
Yeah.
To stay under the composure of oh crap, I missed the spike planner, and it's down and we have to try to clutch it, and he still got it. So you're gonna be happy with that for sure. As the fans stay wild within the CBLOL arena. And 1-6 in the scoreline. Room to breathe. Our hope right now for the KRU fans, as they have money to work with and still 2 very strong ults.
Very strong ults, and BBL trying to do their best to kind of bait it out and make them use one early. Once again, BBL have full shower control. This time, though, KRU are reacting and responding with a quick, short peek. Filippo is such a good answer, though.
Every time they try to walk forward and trying to get a surprise attack on a contact play, it gets denied right now by BBL. So the protocol that they have to just hold back, play passively, let them walk into your crosshair. They've studied some tape for sure.
A lot of research, a lot of studying. Michaela, this timing, I mean, this is where heroes are made, right here.
I think right now within that smoke, it just got dropped, so there's still a lot of time to work with within here while the pressure is going in. Shies has the Nightfall, lots of utility, uses it right away after the plant. And there's that flank, an opportunity for Romy. Just win on the off angle from that Nightfall to just have them funnel right back to her. As not Michaela's the one pushing forward through the smoke, does not get the contact onto Alkia, who falls back, has support into the U-Haul. Disadvantage for KRU, 2 versus 3. C's being thrown just to hold them back, and that same battle happens towards short. And this allows now KRU or BBL to just run that clock down, and with the pain shells on top of that, hope is lost. Yeah. Romy on a 2 versus 1, but no time to come in for the plant or for the defuse. She's gonna have to save.
She will. She's got to survive. Take that TP. Beautiful. And you know, all things considered, Vans, this is a W round if you're a KRU. You've got to be reminding yourselves that this was just a small difference, a matter of just milliseconds difference, right? You saw Romy setting up this flank for that entire round, slow creeping down that long B, and again, deja vu, finding herself on the flank, but this time able to actually get a multi-kill. So just the smallest of margins right now that's happening for KRU side. BBL, they keep getting shower control. They keep getting hookah control. So I'd like to see KRU being a little bit more proactive in the mid round. Maybe not just towards short A, but getting a little bit more info towards that shower.
Yeah, it almost seems that there's not too much of that objective playstyle from KRU to grab that orb towards the showers, focusing more towards those picks, towards that short A, as you've mentioned. And for BBL this round, quite quick towards this B site. They know it's a lower buy that we have here for KRU. They're satchelating through. Oh, wow. Showstopper out, it misses. Alkia still gets 2 entries on top of that. Now the Seeker is going to confirm, at least on the defense, that yeah, they're planning in there.
They will get the spike down. Khalida, Seekers unable to find much of anything, especially because Romy was just too far away. At this point, like once again, damage control. With the Viper's Pit out, you want to kind of just contain the attackers here, make them fall with the spike.
Khalida's just trying to catch one off guard. Lurking across, picking up a weapon at least. That could be another big one. Goes in to tap on that spike. Counter flash coming through. Really just trying to keep those players within the radius of that plant. But BBL, they move up at 8-1.
Dominance so far, Vans. Complete dominance for BBL. I thought maybe they would approach that anti-eco a little bit more cautiously, but they are not. I mean, they're feeling good. They're feeling confident. And even though a little bit of RNG is thrown into rounds like this, they're feeling good about it. They're feeling like no matter how dicey things get, we're just going to be better. So a lot of confidence coming through here for BBL. And with each round, it's just building and building.
I gotta give them the attempt though to try to get some players off the showstopper out of hoops, but unfortunately with no contact there. That was all the eggs in the basket for that. But now you talk about this showers control out from KRU. They're trying to go for that utility play just to try to push Vanya away. Meanwhile though, the battle ensues towards Long B, and Kalita is able to get that pick.
Now that Kalita has a pick, she's got the opportunity to apply a lot more pressure through that TP to help her shower players out. But you see she's very nervous about this bottom B. She wants even further info. And that dog gave her exactly that. They should have a good idea that this is an A hit.
Protocol was there for the others to fall back here for KRU. After the Trailblazer spotted nobody towards long, but Wentz has already moved up towards the U-Haul. There's a big flash, and instantly we opened up the site for BBL. Plant now goes down. Shies is able to answer back, but low on HP. Hot being thrown for some information. They know there's one player towards the bench as they smoke this space. Beautiful flash, and Felipa falls. Orbital strike, though, still available for Vanya. And that could be everything right here for BBL to win this 2 versus 3. And lots of times being wasted here because Kalita's forced to use a heal onto Shies. There's that orbital strike to delay it even more. Both of them could stay within the U-Haul. Making a lot of noise though. This is great. Shies is playing the off angle, now forcing one to stick onto the spike.
Wow.
And they both get their picks. Now halfway, Romy on a 1 versus 1. Vanya plays the time, gets the pick! And she'll get the time for the defuse. That was one rare mistake that came out from the IGL over at BBL to allow Romy to get this Red Bull clutch.
Yeah, one rare mistake. I don't even blame Vanya though. How many kills have we seen her just running and not stopping, sliding and getting kills? She just got one prior to this. So unlucky for her, but both players are bobbing and weaving, jiggling, right? I mean, Romy, as soon as she gets contact, just gives a nice little sidestep, completely ruining that crosshair placement. Beautiful mechanics coming out here for both players. And man, KRU, they really needed that one. Now all of a sudden, I mean, the light at the end of the tunnel, Vans, it's there. 2-8 right now, 2 more rounds. And that second half is looking a lot more doable.
The light's definitely brighter now for KRU. As they're setting up here, they know the judge is close. Showstopper can hold on the attack. Forward moving with the judge.
Beautiful.
But unfortunately, it's a showstopper at the feet of Michaela. She gets dropped. Early advantage, low HP at least for Alkia. Looks like KRU are looking to push back forward. Yeah, the full end's huge.
Wow.
Easy kills for Eva.
The communications coming through. Shies just left with the Bulldog right now. And with only 2 rounds left in the half, she's got to go for a heroic play. Such a strong crossfire for BBL in the site. That's just checkmate right there. And Connier has been incredible in these clutches all series long, but with a judge in her back, yeah, she's just gonna tuck tail and see if she can get some sort of exits bottom B here.
And the exit's only with a judge. I mean, I would respect going for that as well. Getting a couple of picks and dying here, getting closer to an orbital strike in round number 12 would be the saving grace potentially. As for BBL, this time there's definitely no holding back, just chasing down for the last kill, just trying to find her. And they don't care losing their weapons.
Yeah, you know, I want to highlight what you mentioned there, Vans, the fact that just dying for the orb anyway, if you're not going to save the judge, you might as well have, for sure. So dying to the spike, you know, that's definitely a strategy you keep in the beginning of the half. As you build up into the half, you don't want to give free ult orbs, but in the last round, definitely want to change pace a little bit on that approach. But here we are, 9-2. Listen, it's either the 3-9 curse or fake comeback 210. We'll see which route KRU goes with. But BBL have just been so dominant. I mean, each individual is just having highlight reel movies constantly here on Bind.
I felt they never really had to get within these sites for these highlight reel picks. It always comes down to that first blood in favor of BBL. And in the mid-rounding, the retakes just not really working out for KRU. Thankfully this time, different change of setups though for KRU. They have a crossfire set up with this lower buy that they have. One playing close to the teleporter. Still once again playing the utility of Sky. So this is very important here. Khalida already used the flash and the dog, having nothing left around. It allows this position to get taken for Michaela to maybe get the off-angle pick.
And it's going to be really important that Michaela does not give any sort of tells that this is where the trap is going to be. But BBL, they've read it, and they're choosing correctly here as they choose to regroup, leave the Sky inserted, maybe drop a couple of smokes towards that B and really sell this fake. But you can see that the spike is recollecting towards that A site here.
Clock's ticking down, and finally BBL are looking to pivot back towards the A site, and that's where it forces Shies to push forward. Got contact play, forced to fall back, but now pinned within showers. Prowler to get information, now committed. Are BBL within this A site for a plant?
That drill is so clutch. At the same time, Wenz with the pinch. Wenz does have a flank on her back, and Romy now activated on that flank.
The retake's now available for KRU. Looking for utility. There's that flash. Beautiful. Alkia's fully blinded, and it's working out for the lure buy for KRU. Has salvaged this last round. There's only one player left, but it's Eva. She's done it before, but not this time around. We'll have that 3-9 curse.
Yep, too many bodies to shoot at there, and yeah, 3-9 curse. I'm ready, baby.
Too many bodies, but at least that shows the protocol that you saw from KRU. Beautifully done on that push, and we'll see if they could actually pull this back. Let's toss it down to the desk so they can actually break down that first half.
Thank you very much, Vans and Potter. A very dominant half from BBL. But again, like you said, KRU, they have the ideas. Sometimes they have the read, they have the reaction times, but they just get caught off guard a little bit by BBL.
Yeah, it's so sad actually, because even that round 5, the pinch, it's just like, it's a good concept, a good idea, and it makes sense, but the timing is just not there. And like, the execution isn't there for a lot of their plays that they want to make. And it's just unlucky. I don't know how to say unlucky.
And then how many times like they were trying to play aggressive long, they had the flash readies to go, and like Eva was always just in front of that flash. The timing was so unreal and very unfortunate for KRU there.
Yeah, it is indeed. I mean, as you said, there were a couple of moments where we felt like they were going to get some rounds on the board, but in the end, they did manage to get 3. 9-3 curse.
I believe in the 9th curse, because it happened to me quite a bit. So I do believe in it. I just hope they have really good executes on this fade comp, and if they do, I actually do think that they can bring it back, but it all starts with the pistol round. If they can't get the pistol round, I don't know. It might be just donezo, you know, like, it might be done.
Yeah, no one talks about the 10-3 curse. So, yeah, it's you know, they picked Bind for a reason, right? Like, we know that they're very comfortable on this. They have a kind of an interesting comp with Fade. So, you know, they should have something prepared for this.
Yeah, and I think they will. Like I said, it all starts with pistol round. I hope they cooked up some kind of crazy strat here. I like what they're doing. I like the aggressiveness. It may be able to pay off more on this attacking side.
Yeah, I mean, it still feels like BBL, they're just clutching out. There's a lot of rounds we're seeing a similar theme to Sunset.
Yeah, again, the individual play, that skill difference when it comes down to those 1v2s, those 1v3s, the BBL players are so in their comfort zone there.
Yeah, well, this is it. This half is going to be very, very important for KRU if they want to stay in this upper bracket. Vans and Potter, you think they can do it?
I still think they can. Potter?
I'm a believer. I'm a believer, baby. I mean, KRU, they've got to dig deep. They've got to dig deep here, and there's a reason why they're undefeated. There's a reason why there's stats to back them up on this map. This is a comfort pick, and now you get to kind of control the pace. Listen, you were reacting a lot on the defense. Now on the attack side, you can really choose what you want to do. So enough reacting here. KRU, I'm expecting them to control and dominate in this pistol.
For BBL, they kind of want to control as well. They went for early picks, or peaks rather, towards Sands, but let's focus on what's happening towards short. Trailblazer to push one away. Michaela's also Satchel, taking control of Fuel, and a Hot gets information towards the back of the smoke. A Pain Shells to flush her up, but look at the flood coming in. But Schwan still gets 2 picks there somehow. At least it's a 3v3. They stop the bleeding there, and they have an opportunity to go for a plant. It's smoke galore towards this A site right now.
So many random smokes, and they decide to get the hell out of their KRU with the spike in their back. Connier's going to be able to set up the spike And Michaela, she wants to go for more. She has to.
She has this frenzy. They heard a TP towards that flank. And Michaela's just waiting here. And so are the other two BBL players just outside of the smoke. It's Vanya, and it's also Alkia. And that's Michaela. It still waits within the smoke to get those 2 kills. Laser beam to leave Alkia alone. They definitely know that she's playing towards the towards Hookah, and they'll hear her drop no matter what. And it's committed.
Connie, you're playing this round so well.
Still waiting across the back, and Michaela gets 4 in the round. A great start as well, and we're already halfway to a showstopper.
Halfway there, and if you're Michaela, you are loving that. And I'm so glad it was KRU who was able to convert that round. I mean, listen, Wenz should not have been able to get that double kill. I don't know what the heck happened in A site, but those were some heroic moves coming out from the Viper on the side of BBL. So the fact that KRU were able to respond and react and quickly pivot going back towards that B in that nick of time, beautiful stuff coming out. And especially, I mean, listen, if you're down 3-9, this is the kind of round that gets you back into this game.
Looking for a trap play, a TP across right through the walls that was set up here for BBL. But smart for KRU to stay all the way back towards spawn. That alleviates a little bit of pressure that might be happening towards this B site.
Yeah, but this is a bait. This is a complete bait. Love this setup for BBL here. 3 members with a beautiful crossfire in the site. Roman's able to punish. Yeah, that's huge. That is huge.
Move in within this B site and they spot the stack. That's a free TP back within the other way, but Michaela is able to get that first pick off. The long range, the classics still are able to answer back. And there's that flank coming out from Eva, and thankfully there, it's the long range weapons. It's a stronger buy that we have for KRU, but it's also still 3 players in the process.
When you say long range weapons, Vans, did you mean the classic? The classic on the back of Kanye there?
Kind of right, kind of right. Yeah, in truth.
What the? My goodness, both these controllers on both squads are just so damn good in the server. But all good. This is a very healthy buy coming up for BBL, and the fact that KRU only have a few sheriffs to work with. You can see Michaela right now really deciding what her weapon is going to be. She's absolutely not going to stop W. She's going into U-Haul with that Bucky.
It starts off with the orb being thrown first, and there's that execute, the utility support to allow this Bucky to maybe get some control here within U-Haul. But nobody's there to greet her.
Nobody's there, but this should allow to formulate exactly where the defender should be. U-Haul control.
Nice flash as well. And that ground control towards U-Haul is huge. Vanya is forced to play all the way back, waiting for the smokes to dissipate, but also an opportunity to try to get a plant. But there's still utility coming out for the defensive end to prevent this plant from happening. And there's that first blood, though, from Khalida, right between the eyes of Vanya. On the top of the bench, Wentz moves forward to trade it right back. The crossfire is still really nice, though, for KRU to take the advantage, at least for a brief moment. Philippa wants to try to fight back, but she won't see anybody. We're rotating towards B.
But Alkia is on the way. She's still got paint shells on her back. Just released those. Did a little bit of damage, but the spike is going to get down. Philippa, just hardly any utility to work with here.
Yeah, and the aftershock is a little bit too far behind for Michaela, so she couldn't use it towards the U-Haul, but she might be able to use it right here at the entrance of the B site. And Alkia is going to be the one that's going to try to play that contact. That fault line you mentioned before, Philippa uses it. There's that push forward. It trades off, and the advantage still continues, still remains for KRU. As Philippa's walking in, trying to get the spray on the first one. Here's a shot in the second one, and Shy's repositioned to a spot where she could have been picked off there. The wall bang, the halfway mark. So close, but Romy was smart on that. 4 kills in the round, but she almost got beheaded.
She did. She really did. I thought Philippa knew something no one else really knew. I thought she was trying to bait her to peek in there. I mean, absolutely, those game senses tingling, and Spidey senses letting her know where she could be. But what a round. I mean, and that's the bonus as well. That is everything for KRU. You know, the Death was talking about they need the pistol, but now with this bonus, oh boy, 3-9 curse, oh boy.
It looks a disappointment as well, as they had everything that they needed towards that A site to hold everybody back. And look at this. We have a Marshall out for Felipa, so this half buy that you have some room to breathe, but there's still a lot of aggression coming through, trying to play the long range with that Marshall. It's being held here with an aggressive push towards Showers.
Yeah, and I kind of like that Alkia is showing herself towards this hookah. I'd really like to see her be extra mobile, maybe release a boombot and then just book it back towards that A site. Certainly KRU are understanding that that is the one win condition on the back of BBL, is that showstopper. But my goodness, Alkia
Everybody's pushing.
She's pushing. She's in a ranked game right now, Vans.
Gotcha.
Oh
At least Conir was there. That 6 cents coming out from the old IGL. Felipa gets at least value out of that Marshall. There's just too many players of KRU moving together as a death ball. That will not allow BBL to really play any more surprises until maybe right here, that flash coming out. But she blinds herself, unfortunately.
Unlucky timing for Ava. That's I'd ask for a refund on that bird. But Wen's with the Bucky in her hand. I mean, this is where the discipline comes in, right? If you're KRU, you don't want to give freebies unless you do. Unless you want those eeks.
You definitely want to get the alt orbs up. I mean, they're so close to it as well for KRU. And as you mentioned, you want a refund on a bird, but sometimes birds are free, so why not? Why not try to use it at least to try to make some surprise play, but unfortunately it didn't work. And now for BBL, I mean, we're closing this gap. This looked to be really BBL's game from the first half. And it's KRU once again. They were the ones making the first mistakes on a defensive half. But as you mentioned here, Potter, now that they have control of it, they've been doing a great job really working this map.
Absolutely, and timeout coming out right in the nick of time for BBL. I don't think the alarm bells are ringing quite yet if you're BBL, for sure. I think they've lost 2 actual gun rounds so far and 1 eco round, so that's definitely gonna hurt. But for these ladies, they've been doing all the right things, right? We talked about that shower control. For BBL side, we've consistently saw that TP pressure, and that Sky is sending the utility through that TP to give even further information for their A-site players. So we'll see if there's any adjustments coming out for BBL, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they just rinse and repeat, do the same thing, because they were going through the motions. All the pieces were in the right places.
Yeah, rinse and repeat. Also for KRU is that pressure they're able to get towards that U-Haul. Fans are still pretty loud here in the CBLOL Arena. As we move back within the server, we look at what we have here. Because they've lost those 2 gun rounds and also the eco, we see that the string of rounds that was able to come out here for KRU. But now they have the weapons now for BBL and also these ults.
Yeah, look at this from BBL. All 4 members are grouped towards this B. This is looking like a full push down B type avenue. They have the breach shield, so they're okay playing retake and keeping A site as the weak side.
And the start is just to put Alkia in a position by the TP. Dog coming out to get info, gets shot right away here from the spawn, so we're not too sure if there's somebody close there towards Showers until that bird came out.
Yeah, Alkia didn't like it. It was just too far. She wants a guaranteed kill right here. So just biding her time. You could see both initiators are babysitting the Rays. Here we go. Oh no.
It was one to bait out Alkia to try to get the trade with the showstopper. And good for Kalita to stay alive using now the Seekers. Now 1v1, wallbang attempt, reopens and greeted by Kalita. The flick back to get the pick. And an opportunity for KRU to move within the site. Orbital strike to flush Felipa out and move her out of position where she can't use the Rolling Thunder for the retake on BBL.
The timing in this round for KRU was beautiful. Absolute perfection coming out. And the cherry on top is Kalita's already ready. I mean, as soon as the communications come through for her team that this retake is not on, she can just booktail, turn around, and really put the nail in the coffin here and put a checkmate into the second half. KRU are completely controlling the tides here. And BBL, I like the proactivity. I like the trap play that they had. The idea was there, but sloppy. Too sloppy.
With the 4 positions, looks like KRU this time around notices that the last 2 players are attempting to save their weapons. So they are hunting it down. Kalita's already back towards short A. You've used a Viper utility for her to move through, trying to flash for some information. But we could definitely see here that the last 2 players of BBL holding back towards the spawn on the top of heaven will save these weapons for the next round. So again, if you're in the camp of BBL, at least you still have that Rolling Thunder and 2 rifles to move and work with in the next round.
Yeah, nice shots. And even Michaela being there at hookah to just perfectly timing that spawn peek as that B defender is rotating because he thinks that that A site hit is on. A lot of moving pieces for KRU on this attack side so far. And again, it's just Shies outside a bathroom trying to give info. BBL are so aggressive.
Super aggressive, trying to push him towards a Rolling Thunder, and there it is. It's coming out right now. Showstopper on the other end as well, just to try to answer back. But Felipe's the one that's holding it through towards the Sands. Wenz as well pushing down, and Kinnear unfortunately falls. And that spike on top of that. Romy and Shies, the last two to work against 4 players of BBL. Too good. It's a 1-for-1. And now only Shies. Looking to clutch it around here. An opportunity for KRU to tie up the game. But BBL had something else to say about that. There's no way that they want to make this a close game now.
Yeah, and that's a response. That is exactly the response you want if you're BBL. They've got to be able to repeat it, though. That was a nice curveball, a nice change in pace right off the rip here. But with no breach ult coming out for the second round, I'm looking straight at what kind of misdirection they're going to throw. They're going to try to make KRU think that that same type of aggression is back on the way, or will they just go back to that standard? Because as I said before, that standard actually for BBL, it was working out. I mean, they are proactive. I'd say maybe the timing in which in the round they're trying to clear shower is a little bit too early. I think you wait a little bit longer, but otherwise, again, they are crossing their T's and dotting their I's as far as looking for information in the mid-round here.
And that's quite interesting, actually. I was looking at it with the KRU coming out with the timeout. And so the timeouts that came out in the first half was actually from BBL, just trying to secure those rounds on defense, right? Or am I wrong on this?
I'm a little confused as well, because I think they did use both.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. It does seem like there's
KRU timeout, so they had 2 left to work, as you can see on this. Yeah, so that's actually quite interesting to see how it was so one-sided for BBL.
I don't know how to count anymore, man.
Dude, it's okay. It's one of those days where we're learning today for sure.
We gonna learn today, Vans. We gonna learn today, and it looks like that timeout, it's done.
Yeah, it's timeout done right now for KRU as they come back within here, and BBL is slowly starting to slip away with this matchup, trying to come back within here. We talked about the ults that are available. Romy has an opportunity here, so maybe to try to work together with the utility that they have and try to go for this Viper's Pit. But starting things off on this overlay, they're just holding back, again, that same type of play style, to hold back a default, and waiting to see if BBL wants to go for that same type of pressure that they did a couple of rounds ago.
Yeah, and BBL, they've got a lot of decisions to make, because as you say, that Viper's Pit is up, and at this point, you got to decide, are we going to ride or die fight for this site, or are we going to let the Viper set up in a post plant and use Vanya's ult to kind of push and pinch them out? So we'll see exactly what kind of response the defenders of BBL do here, but if they come towards this B side, I wouldn't be surprised if they just go for that sort of retake. It really just depends. Yeah, Wenz is out of mollies as well. It seems like they're going to have to go for a retake towards this B site.
Definitely okay to give that up. Players playing towards the elbow. There's that pick coming out on the attack for KRU. A classic play coming out on the attack. And Vanya, though, has an opportunity to really try to flush out KRU.
Yeah, but she's holding on to it. You see that KRU are really trying to bait it out, but Vanya's biding her time. She wants her teammates to be a lot closer to the site before she goes.
They're going to let that plant go down. So it's a full counter against the Viper's Pit. Nightfall to even find more information. There's that orbital strike finally coming out on defense, but that's a pick coming out from Alkia. Wentz now pushing forward. They have to go into the thick of it now as Romy's still holding this pit within the site. Finally gets sprayed off, and Kinnear's alone now. Wall's coming up. It finally comes down. A flash that misses. Cannot connect the shots. The lineup at least, but it's too late. The defuse comes across for BBL. As now they're at 11, getting closer and closer to finish the series.
What a beautiful sequence coming through here for BBL. I got nervous, especially because that Viper's Pit lineup was a little bit different. It was the one through hookah, not the one that fully clears the site, but BBL, they were patient. They trusted and fully believed in their retake protocols, and it pays off huge for them. Everyone in the right spot at the right time, and that sort of small little patience in the beginning allowed them to get in the right spot. So good moving pieces here for BBL.
Even more aggressive. That's actually really nice by Michaela.
was a nice shot.
Finally looking to be a little bit more proactive at the beginning of the rounds, just trying to hold that walk into the control and getting that first pick. It works out, but meanwhile, they've lost Romy.
Yeah, they've lost Romy, and the good news, at least for the side of KRU, is Viper is no longer at this B side. It's just the double initiators, and sure, that's a lot of flashes, but you don't have the delay, you don't have the walls any longer towards here. Good re-aggression coming out here for BBL. Oh, they're walk contacting. I love this coming out for KRU.
Yeah, even looking at BBL, they're just thinking that they have the play, that they have the flank. So with that, though, a couple of utilities just got used, and you definitely hear it from BBL. They're backpedaling and looking to reflank towards Long B. This might be dangerous right here for KRU.
Yeah, KRU, they've got to set up in better post plants, and they've got to do it now. They're getting pinched, and that beautiful shot from Kalita will buy some time.
Aftershock coming out too. Flash to try to recross. Wow. Beautiful fault line from Philippa. So it turns out to be a 1-for-1, but information is there, so there's going to be another contact play. Shy's the one that's watching the flank. Meanwhile, the push towards the spawn. Michaela gets the last two over there as Philippa has to clutch. And there you go. That contact playing around that corner. Easy for Shies.
Easy.
Narrowing the gap once again.
Yeah, easy for Shies. I would have loved to seen Philippa save her gun there at the end. Maybe some dead cons coming through from her teammates to let her know, hey, oh, we can go again. GG, we go next round. Because coming into this one, even though their finances are a bit shot, with that saved gun, they certainly would have had a really good chance to stand their ground into this one. But I think she's going to be really broke coming into this round. Let's see if they actually decide to invest. A hero rifle on the back of Ava, Seekers in hand, and Alkia is just one away from a showstopper.
Not playing into an angle here where BBL are trying to take an objective of one of these orbs. That showstopper that's one away from Alkia is moving towards short. The contact play, an off angle now this time around, trying to see if Romy's going to try to push and play the lurk towards short. But with the walls coming up and her pushing forward, she kind of knows that this has been a ruse all along by KRU.
A ruse for sure. Kalita's really going to try to sell and keep these A players busy towards this A while her teammates regroup, but oh, that fault line is so huge.
Flash also got contact, but thankfully they only got hit at the bottom of the sands at Long B, so they're able to pull back away from that aftershock to even push them even more. So it allows a little bit of a reposition for BBL to try to force KRU into their hands. But with the Seekers coming out, with Kalita flashing forward, the 1v1 around the area, it allows KRU to TP across, support her as they're committed now towards the A site.
Now it's just Alkia stuck in pocket. Vanya was able to rendezvous back with her, so there is a ping pong, there is a crossfire here towards U-Haul.
There's that swing through the smoke. Kalita catches Alkia. Out of surprise, wall coming down as well, a double swing, beautifully done. Somehow hits Romy through the smoke.
Yeah, Vanya actually gets the third behind, but all of a sudden it's come down to a 3 versus 2. Ava is able to equalize 2 versus 2. She wants to wait 8 seconds for her next flash.
Wait 8 seconds.
3 now.
Or just try to get these last 2 picks for KRU Esports. Just a regular crossfire setup. First contact to be Konir. Eva unfortunately doesn't look towards the right angle, and Konir gets the last pick as they're 1 round away of tying up the game, where this was one-sided all along for BBL since the first half.
One-sided all along indeed. Both squads coming out with all the stops on the attack side. And this one, I mean, it started off with, again, making the Sky and Breach really busy towards that Long B. I really like the setup coming out from BBL. You can see exactly why they value these agents, because that fault line is so fat down that Long B area. You can really control it. The timing has been a little off, and unfortunately for BBL, they haven't been able to punish off the back of the util. They've just been able to kind of slow things down a little bit. Good spam.
Whoa.
How is she not dead?
A fadeaway satchel to get information and potentially bait out this showstopper. Comes out right away, lands into the showers, but does not connect onto anybody. So actually that was nicely done by Michaela. She'll get the re-heal from Kalita, and they could now refocus to re-hit towards the A site against less utility.
Yeah, that's such a W if you're KRU. I mean, Michaela's just going to get topped off here, healed back up to 100. And now Akelia is real sad about the fact that she used every stopping power she has on her back. The reaggress coming through once again. Breach right on her heels. Wow.
Kinnear was right there, out in the open with an easy kill. Philippa not given an opportunity to be able to support her teammate, so she's going to be the one that's going to try to make a play. But it's beautiful there for KRU. 2 players holding towards the showers. Vanya, though, is still alive towards the U-Haul, and she takes the matters into her own hands, holding out the short A area. The push forward towards the trip box. That's Khalida trying to get the backstab back onto Vanya. 24 seconds left on the clock, though. They have to pitch in towards this player from both angles. The first contact comes in. Khalida gets the pick onto Wentz. The fight towards the front. We talked about the time left, though. Orbital strike not used, 12 HP remaining, and a jumping right-click classic off the assist of the flash. 4 kills for Vanya within the round.
And I love how you set that one up, Vans. You're absolutely right. Vanya, she's still alive. So everyone has to be worried. I mean, Vanya was in that U-Haul all alone, but she delivers, and she delivers once again. That was, things could have got dicey. I mean, we talked about it, right? The fact that Alkia got baited so hard and just bit so hard on the fact that that A hit was coming, wasted her showstopper, wasted her paint shells. And KRU, I mean, they were completely set up. They even were disciplined, they stopped noise, they really kept KRU guessing, but BBL, Vanya,
yeah,
beast.
I mean, even surprised that the push went in there towards CT, but instead, the round comes in for BBL, match and series point. Again, that orbital strike was never used within that last round, so a powerful ult on delays, powerful ult on retake.
Yes.
So KRU backs against the walls.
Yes, and that's such a good point, especially because we've seen the retakes coming out from BBL. Taking out Wenz this early without a trade in sight is gonna be everything for KRU, though. Still, both ultimates that you mentioned on the board, and those retake protocols that we kept commending from BBL is going to be a lot more difficult with a man down.
And the pick that Michaela just got allows for her to get the showstopper within this round. So all of KRU are grouped up here towards short A, and they'll try to execute off that.
Philippa is making good proactive moves to try to make sure she's not going to get pinched. This Raze ult going off should be okay, at least if you're BBL. They're going to book it. And again, those retake protocols, that's what BBL is leaning on in this round.
I love it. The 2 with the ult are actually pushing out towards Shower so they can play the retake off that 2 utility. So now it's the pincer maneuver this time around for BBL for the retake.
Yeah, the sound cues. So many sound cues at this moment, though. KRU have a good idea. They're reacting by pushing spawn.
And that's well done. First one to fall. But where's that utility? When are the ults coming in? There you go. Flushing it out towards U-Haul. Pushing it forward. Nice smokes on the ground, though, to prevent the players from flanking across from BBL. It looks to be beautiful for KRU. And even a Prime Gaming flawless as we move into round number 24.
Wow, wow, so much mobility. Both squads reading each other so well in this last round. I mean, you called it, right? The reactions to reaggress back towards that shower because of their retake protocols. It did seem like they did enough. I mean, KRU were starting to get pinched and constricted, but this move right here, the fact that they quickly push spawn so that that pinch never happens was just everything for the side of KRU.
Still happy, still smiles. Working under the pressure. As they only needed that one single round to push us into the extra innings. And they've broken the economy of BBL Queens this time around. But Philippa still holds on to that Rolling Thunder. The key piece here to allow for BBL to cross that finish line if they can.
And both initiators, they swapped it up. BBL. You can see Philippa's trying to make her way quickly back towards this B. And Vanya's got a lot of time. She's still got 2 smokes left to be able to cycle through and delay and buy time. And that's exactly what you want if you're BBL. Wenz, good, deep line of sight. Once she spots Romy, that information should keep the defenders moving here.
Look at util that was used by KRU. All they're moving together towards the U-Haul. Definitely will get caught. Manages to survive with 10 HP remaining. And Eva also gets the pick up to Michaela. This is huge right now for BBL. Mentioned at the beginning of the round, that Rolling Thunder still available. And now they also have the power numbers. The re-heal coming up from onto Wenz as well. And there's that Rolling Thunder. The flood coming back from BBL. The close range shot executes Khalida. But finally KRU are able to fight right back. Room to breathe. Battle now towards the trip box. Plant not down yet for KRU as we have 20 seconds left, dwindling on the clock. And now with another pick from Valkia, it forces KRU to try to fall back. Under pressure, he shines just towards her U-Haul, wins it against Vanya. 13 seconds left now as she gets the knife fallout just to try to run the clock down while KRU is able to get the plant towards the B site.
Philippa has made her way towards this B. It's a fair 1v1 as she takes out Conir. That should be the spike.
It's halfway, they're low HP, there's the TP. It's halfway the wall bang, but we're off it. And now the TP's coming up from Valkia. The shot from Shies. Now she knows that her opponent's off the spike. Swings back out of bullets, and we're still dancing around. Philippa gets the pick though. Comes in for the defuse, and BBL will take the series.
What a way to end this series. My goodness, Shies ran out of bullets there. Just wanted to peek up, see if she's actually sticking it, but just gets her head wiped clean off. What a response here for BBL in the last round in this second map. Things were not looking good, man. KRU, they've got to feel very sad about that. But you know what? Tonight, when they're rewatching this footage, they better be gassing each other up because this series was incredible.
And I love the smiles, Elise, in the defeat for KRU, though. I got to say, they put up a great fight on that end. They had great control in that first map. The second map, to a great attempt of a comeback. And you definitely have to be proud of that. You're coming in with 2 new players on that stage with the veterancy. You also have second life now. But for BBL, they've definitely proven that they are able to play here on land, and they can put up a good fight, and they could potentially be that dark horse that you mentioned, Potter.
Yeah, Vanya is just something different. My goodness, so many times when that moment fell into her lap, she capitalized. She absolutely capitalized and she executed, and she looked damn good while doing it. So that sort of leading by example, especially on the BBL side, in your opening match of this tournament, should carry you through for the rest of this week.
Yeah, and it does give a lot, though, for KRU fans. Again, a team that unfortunately was dropped with no series win in Berlin last year. Well, there's hope this time around. They put up a great display, and there's still a chance for them to fight back in the lower brackets. Fist bumps all across, and there are your winner of the series, BBL, right here. And what does this mean right now? Will they be the team that will continue to push forward now through the bracket, that could be that dark horse and continue to upset the top dogs, at least here in this tournament? We'll soon find out as we move forward throughout this tournament, but let's at least toss it back to the desk where they can break down the series.
Thank you very much, you two. What a crazy map that was in the end. Let's take a look at the replay of that last round, Safa and Baby Bay, because I feel like that summed up the entire series.
It really does. I mean, there's so much back and forth, so many like hero moments from the players. There was obviously like one team, BBL, was like kind of on a half by there, yet they managed to win it. So many insane like micro moments that sum up the entire map of mine.
And I had a lot of questions about how this breach is going to be played, but you saw from that replay just there, it was beautiful the way they were comboing the utility with the stun. I think there was multiple rounds where they were using the stun off of the dog's contact and able to get like 2 or 3 kills off of it. But at the same time, KRU did a great job on their attack of identifying where that breach was, not dying to the trap plays. And then honestly, it kind of felt like, oh, breach is here, let's go hit the other site where it's weak. They understood the setups that BBL were playing. And honestly, heroics was what made BBL come out on top of at the end of the day.
Yeah, and speaking of heroics, like some props to Michaela too for starting off on that map. I believe she only had 2 frags on the first half, which is very hard, obviously very demoralizing, and then just turned it up. Unfortunately, it was just a little too late for the team.
Yeah, as you saw that on that graphic, KRU had more first kills as well, which I feel like paints a picture of how BBL are always managing to win things out in the last minute.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Potter said about how like they should definitely keep their heads up high. KRU played phenomenal. Make sure you have a better defense next time.
Wow, let's send it down to the stage right now. Dixina is standing by with the IGL who can do it all, Vanya, in the Verizon post-match interview.
Salve, salve galera! Tô aqui no palco então de frente com a Vânia e com a Rebeca, a tradutora, que vai fazer o trabalho aí de turco com o inglês, né? Então vamos lá, minha primeira pergunta já vai ser sobre o começo ruim que elas tiveram na Sunset. Quero saber como elas voltaram naquele começo para terminar o mapa em 13-7. So Vânia, first of all, congrats for this important win. The beginning of Sunset was a little bit shaky for you. You started losing 5-1 to KRU. What happened? What did you do to manage to come back from this bad start?
Öncelikle tebrik ederim size. Sunset haritasında başlangıç birazcık zordu. 5-1 geriden döndünüz. Orada nasıl bunu yapmayı başardınız? Nasıl geri dönüş sağladınız?
Sunset'te biraz geriden başladık. Bu bizim galiba her zaman yaptığımız bir şey. Alışmaya çalıştık ekipmanlara, seslere. Seslerde biraz alışma sorunu yaşadık. O yüzden oyuna hiç fokus olamadık böyle 4-5 round. Sonra çözdüğümüzde zaten oyunun gerisi geldi ve kazandık.
At first it was kind of difficult getting used to the stage, to the sounds and everything. So it took us a few rounds to come in the game, but after we figured it out, everything came naturally and we won the map.
Ela falou que no começo foi difícil acostumar com o stage, com o som, com essas coisas, né, de jogar num palco pela primeira vez aí, depois que elas acostumaram, as coisas vieram naturalmente e acabaram vencendo. E minha segunda pergunta agora é para falar sobre essa bind, né, que depois de virar de 9-3, tiveram muitos problemas para fechar, quase perdendo o mapa. Quero saber o que aconteceu. So my second question is about bind. After 9-3, a really good advantage. What happened? You struggle a lot to close the map. What happened?
Şimdi bind hakkında sormak istiyorum. Önce 9-3 öne geçtiniz, çok güzel bir avantaj sağladınız. Sonra maçı bitirmek birazcık zor oldu sizin için. Orada ne yaşadınız?
İkinci yarıda 9-3 önde olanın biz olduğunu unutmuş şekilde oynadık. Daha fazla özgüvenle oynamamız gerekirken daha pasif oynadık. Normalde vuracağımız adamları yaşarsam ben vuramadım. Ama bir şekilde sonunu getirdik. Önemli olan sonunu getirmek. Fakat biz de farkındayız. Daha basit bir şekilde geçmesi gerekiyordu. Ama enti diyelim, sonuçta kazandık.
As you said, after getting the advantage of 9-3, we should have closed it out easier, but we kind of forgot that we were like leading and we were kind of more passive. We should have been more aggressive, so we were aware of that, but the important thing is that we closed out the map and we won the match.
Como ela falou, elas meio que esqueceram que estavam com muita vantagem, começaram a jogar mais passiva, e ela acha que elas deviam ser mais agressivas para abusar dessa vantagem e conseguir vencer o mapa, mas ainda bem que elas conseguiram vencer no final, né? Voltaram para o jogo. É isso, vou agradecer, muito obrigado. Thank you so much, Vânia. Congrats. É isso, tamo junto.
Thank you.